Hello everyone, hi, it's Jane here. Thank you so much for watching today. The other day I was watching a video where someone was using some new granulating colours that split, and that little voice in my head went, "Ooh, they look nice." And then I thought to myself, what are you doing? You have the Kuretake granulating colours in both the sets that they brought out, and it really made me want to get them out and use them. So that is what I'm doing today in my Canson art book. Now I've only got, I think it's 4 pages left in this now, 4 or 5, can't remember, but so I'm getting really close to finishing this sketchbook, which is like woo. So I thought I'm going to use them in here because this is 100% cotton paper. It's cold pressed, so it's got a bit of texture, which is the sort of paper that granulation and splitting colours really work well on. But I didn't want to just put the colours down. I wanted to really see the different colours shine. And so I decided I was going to draw out a grid. Rather than make a grid with my tape, I thought I would draw one out with some of these wonky rectangles. So I hadn't overly planned it out. So I was just like trying to fit what I could in the spaces. And I'm just using the Unipin. No, it's not. That is a lie. I am using the Faber Castell. I've got it here in front of me. The Pitt Artist Pen Fineliner, and it's the S nib, which I think is small, but I'm not sure. They don't seem to sort of label theirs the same as Unipin or other people. So I'm drawing that because it is a waterproof pen. So I needed a pen that was waterproof. So I've got my grid there in the background. And here are my Kuretake Gansai Tambi granulating. So there's set 1, which is the Aurora colours. And then there's also set 2, which is the Cosmic colours. Now they've both got very sort of galaxy night sky vibes going on. But you can also, I think, do some beautiful floral things. And from doing this project today, well, it wasn't today, it's today when you're seeing it, but when I did it, it really made me think that I want to use these for some actual watercolouring, some images as well. I have tended just to use them for backgrounds quite a lot, rather than actual painting in colours, like in images. And I thought that might be something fun to do. So I don't know, I'll be able to tell you some of the colours that I've used here. So the first one was, if I remember, the Auroras are on the right and the Cosmics are on the left. So the first two were the Cosmic Red and then the Aurora Red. So I've decided I wanted to do a little bit of mixing up the colours to see what happened. Now I haven't been looking while I've done the next one. So I think it was probably the Cosmic Green was the second colour, and possibly the Aurora Orange. I'm not sure. So I won't. Oh no, it was probably maybe the Cosmic Olive and the Cosmic Green. I'm losing track already. So this would have been the Cosmic Violet that I'm using now, and I decided to add a little bit more colour into some areas to really try and get that granulation. And you'll see I did put some water down in each one first so that I could really get that colour to move and split. And this one will be the Aurora Violet. So we've got the Cosmic Violet and the Aurora Violet in this rectangle. You'll see that in some areas the water is starting to puddle a little bit, and I didn't really want that because I knew that that would take far too long to dry and risked sort of really going everywhere. As you can see there, I just touched that top bit slightly and colour ran from one to the other. I wasn't worried if the colours did mix a little bit between the different rectangles, but here you'll see I'm just about to just mop up. So if you take a bit of kitchen towel or tissue and you just hold it right on the top of the water, it just tends to suck it up really quickly and it gets rid of the most of the puddle of the water, because I didn't want it too much on there. So this next square, I'm making sure I'm going to tell you the right colours, is the Cosmic Blue, and I'm going to guess I'll use the Aurora Blue with it because I was sort of trying to go with the two colours that went together. So yeah, this is the Aurora Blue. So the granulating colours from Gansai Tambi, they're granulating, but they're also, I would say, they are what I would call splitting. They split into the different pigments. So within each colour, you get more than one colour pigment. So for example, with the Cosmic Red, you get like a pink and an orange. And as it dries, the colours pull apart and you see the different colours. You can just get granulating watercolours. So most ranges will have some granulating watercolours, because granulation for some pigments is just a natural process, and it's to do with the size of the pigment particles. And so, for example, ultramarine is just generally a granulating colour because of the way the pigment is. I presume you can mill it so it's more fine and you'll get less granulation, but these colours are ones that are put together specifically to do this, to really granulate and to really split apart, so you get some fantastic effects. And like I say, for things like galaxies, they are really fabulous. And because I was too busy talking to you about that, I didn't take note of what the colours were, so hopefully you don't really need to know each one. And again, I'm just going in where I see there are puddles building up, because my sketchbook is very, very full, so it's not laying at all flat anymore. It is all lumpy bumpy. So in some areas the colour is pooling more than others, because it's where the way the sketchbook is lying. And at the end, you will see of this section, you'll see that I do pop the box underneath, because at the bottom part of my book, which you can see I'm actually holding down, is higher than the top because of all the elements in my sketchbook. So I do put something underneath, just so that as it dries, it's not all running back up to the top. So I'm just, as you say, I didn't do each one next to each other because I wanted to try and let bits dry before I moved on, but because of the nature of it, at some point some of the colours do, and when I get to the final square, you will see there's quite a leak over from the square onto another one. But I didn't mind, and actually it had a really lovely effect in the end. So sometimes it's a serendipity, isn't it? Happy accident, and it looks good. So here you'll see I'd start with this one. I'm going to go in with the blue. I do believe, which one did I go? Oh, no, it wasn't. It was like a purple, wasn't it? And it's already going over into the next square. But here, it was the blue. And you'll see it really does go over into that one. Or do I put it in? I can't remember. No, yeah, I saw it was already going in. So I thought, do you know what? I'm going to go with it. I'm going to extend that colour into that other rectangle so that it looks like a plan. And that's often what you can do. If you do something, maybe it's a bit of a mistake, make it look like a plan. So I then left this, after I'd mopped up any extra bits, I did leave it to dry naturally, because that's the best way with these sorts of effects. You want them to do their own thing. You want them to spread out, mix, be able to separate without forcing them. If you force them, you're probably not going to get as much of the effect as you would possibly like. Now, once it had all dried, here is so you can have a bit of a closer look. I really thought it looked a bit like patchwork, and I had gone over the edges in certain places and thought, I'm going to make this look like a really messy patchwork sky. So I grabbed these two stamp sets that I have. One is from Be Crafty. I think it's called, let me have a look. I have everything here so I don't forget what names are. Oh, it hasn't got a name on it, but it's like stitched borders and things like that. And then I've got the other stamp set from Rubber Dance Stamps, which is Grungy Borders, which has got some sort of like sewing things. I love the look of sewing. I love the look of stitching, but I'm not very good at it in terms of using a machine or anything like that. I used to do cross stitch years ago and I used to love it. I couldn't do it now because my eyes wouldn't cope, but I do like the look of it. So I love these stamps for helping me sort of get that sort of look. And I'm going in with the Versafine Clair black ink pad. It might not be called black, it might be called something else. It's called Nocturne, so night. Nocturne. That is what Nocturne means, isn't it? Night. And so I'm just going round. I'm not worrying too much about going over things, if the lines go into the rectangles, because I want it to look like it's just been messily sewn together. And I just love the idea of like a sky that's a patchwork quilt. And I really love how, especially that top one, the top left rectangle, with where that bit of blue was brought in. I really think that's got a beautiful galaxy sky look. And so these colours are absolutely stunning when they dry and mingle together. So I'm adding in some little extra bits, especially where things had gone over. I just want to add in little threads so it looks really like a patchwork. And I did give that a dry because Versafine Clair is oil based and it does take a little bit to dry. Then maintaining that theme of the night sky, I decided to go in with this little Dinkable star stencil. This one's from Be Crafty as well. I will add a list in the description box of what I've used. I'm not putting in links anymore because so many companies stop making things, or the company may go altogether, and it's easier for me to just list what I've used so that you can look where you are if you really want to. But I would always say, please do use what you have. You know, if you've got something that's similar, you could use that. Or if you want to just totally take the concept of the page but use it in a totally different way, then I'm quite happy for that to, you know, for you to do that with anything that I've done on this channel. Obviously, if you do copy it exactly, it would be lovely if you could tag me and accredit me, but I'm quite happy for you to use what I've done as inspiration. So I thought it needed a little bit more sort of cosmic look, so I'm just going in with my white Posca pen. I have to say the paint from the previous bit as well, that was just a Hobbycraft gold acrylic paint, nothing particularly special. And I'm just going in, and I decided to do like a biggish dot and then draw little dots around it because I thought that looked like little clusters of stars. And I'm just going into every single one of these rectangles and adding a little bit of that in. Once I'd added in all those little dots, I found this piece of collage. I have a sort of little folder thing that has got all the bits of collage that I previously cut out of different books that I haven't actually used. And this was in there, and I think it's from Maremi Small Arts Industrial Fashionista book, but it'll be something like that. And I thought it just went so perfectly on this page that I really had to have it on there. So I'm using my Liquitex professional matte medium to stick it down, and then I'm also picked out a sentiment from Lemon Creation, and I thought just went beautifully with it. I can't remember what it said. What did it say? I just hope one day, because I thought it looked like this little person was thinking and looking at the stars and wishing for something wonderful in the future, but they were not grounded. They had nothing to stand on. They looked like they were floating in midair, although that would have sort of gone with the balloon, wouldn't it, in the sky, but I wanted them to be standing on the ground for now. So I'm going in with my Derwent Inktense pencil in Deep Indigo just to add a little bit of shadowing round the feet and along the bottom to become the ground for them to stand on for the moment before they could go off on their dreams. So thank you very much for watching this video today. If you have enjoyed it, do please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already subscribed, I'd love it if you could do that as well. There is also a hype button nowadays if you want to hype the video to help get it passed on to more people to watch. And at the end of this video you will see a list of my lovely super supporters. A big thank you and shout out to them. And if you are interested in joining my membership, I will leave a link in the description box where you can find out more information about it. So until the next time, bye.